BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season. MLB, golf, NBA, NHL, all your playoff needs are handled in one place. BetOnline. Latest odds and lines, including the most up-to-date team matchups for all your favorite sports. It's all right there at BetOnline. Sit down and head to the website today to get in on the action, or use your mobile device. BetOnline, where the game starts.
All right, let's get down to business. An active lifestyle can cause hemorrhoids. That sucks. Lucky for you, they're south of the border. South of the border is a holistic approach to dealing with the affected area. Go to southoftheborder.com, use code AHOLE, AHOLE, get yourself 30% off. That's pretty rad. And this is not an area of your body you want to put bad ingredients in. Make sure you turn to South of the Border. Southoftheborder.com, code AHOLE.
I hope you're ready to have your mind blown with the greatest health and fitness information on the planet.
Yes, bitch!
How do you maintain the forward progression of your recovery 20 years in? If I'm assuming you're talking about like drug and alcohol recovery, serious stuff here. And I will say that the most important thing to me has always been remind myself of how not cured I am. When I was first in recovery, I had to go to meetings pretty much every day. I had to check in with my sponsor all the time, and I had to. And I don't really need to. I'm not trying to tell anybody like, oh, you get over it. No. But I don't. On a day-to-day basis, I don't have like lingering urges. I'm not bothered by, on a day-to-day basis, am I bothered by urges to use drugs and alcohol. So I can pretty justifiably sometimes forget that I even need to do work. But then, and these, God damn, these men have passed. So I'm not breaking any anonymity here, but I will use their name because people know, even people outside of recovery know them. And I think it's important to remind yourself of this. Robin Williams was clean for a long time before he got to the point where he felt like life wasn't worth living anymore. And I'm sure there's other outside circumstances beyond just drugs and alcohol, but people who knew him well realized that that was a big factor. And I looked up the one person that I looked up to the most in recovery. If I had to pick one, it is, I put Dr. Drew's way up there, but Dr. Drew's not an alcoholic or a drug addict. He's not he just has invested so much effort and time out of the kindness of his heart to that disease. But as far as like in the program, the guy I looked at and I was like, I want to be like him, was DJ AM. I would see him, and he was a celebrity. He was already like a pretty well-known guy, when I would see him in meetings and stuff. And the way he was so fucking selfless, and the way he would never try to interrupt people or get in the way or showboat, and how I just offhandedly, like not even trying to pay attention, I would listen to him offer people to pick him up. He'd be like, oh, dude, you don't have a car? No sweat. I can scoop you up if this is your weekly. He was that guy. I looked at him, I said, that's what I want to be like. That's how I'm going to do it. That's how I'm going to change my life and keep in a positive kind of trend. And he's fucking dead from drugs. And I don't say that like some spooky story. I say it because like, don't ever forget. Don't ever fucking forget. Don't ever let yourself lose sight of how of the surrender of it, where it's like, hey, I've gotten so far. I've been sober 22 years. I've been sober 22 years, man. You don't think I ever get tricked into thinking like, I got this licked. I do. But then I think about those dudes. And I tell myself again, I was like, and I don't just tell myself, I fully realize, I'm like, oh, I don't have this licked at all. I don't have this licked at all. And that in and of itself, I think, really keeps me going in a positive direction. Sorry to get so fucking dramatic. Let's see here. Should I be sweating when lifting? My heart rate is up and I break a sweat at times, but not like with cardio. From Caitlin Lopez. Well, that's a good question. You got to factor in a lot of things here. One, come to Central Texas and train with me around this time of year or any time in the summer. You don't have a choice. You're sweating. If you're in Seattle in February, I don't think you have to work to be sweating to get to the point where you can then start training with intensity. So factor those things in. Also, biology. I have friends, and we all know those guys who sweat from fucking ripping a fart. I'm not a particularly sweaty dude, but I definitely, if I'm doing high rep squats, I'm covered. I look like I showered. So, factor that in. I don't think you don't need to be sweating to lift, but I do think people underestimate what a good warm-up can be. And they get so paranoid. I think the bodybuilding world has scared regular people into getting so paranoid that they're going to compromise their max output by working pretty hard to get their body moving. Being overly warm is a lot better than not warming up enough. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know. I'm only really familiar with Cather woods. Yes. Okay. So I've been walking 10,000+ steps every day for over a year, and I've lost a few pounds, but I'm ready to go to the next level. What would be the best next step to take? I'm a male, 37 years old, 245 pounds, 5'9", fairly active, no workout regimen though. I can dedicate 3 days per week for 1 to 2 hours per day towards the next step goal, which is to lose more weight and be overall more fit and healthy. I want to say this, and before I say it, I want to be very clear. This is not dismissive. This is the best advice I can give you. I've lost a couple pounds by walking 10,000 steps a day. I don't have a workout regimen yet, but I want to. What is the best steps I should be taking? Diet. Really hammer home. Well, how many calories do I need in a day? What is my basal metabolic rate? Okay. What's a good deficit that I could sustain over a long period of time and doesn't make me go cuckoo and doesn't compromise my health? Let's stay there, and I'm going to up my protein. It's going to keep me fuller. It's going to help with the thermic effect of food, meaning you actually burn more calories by simply digesting protein compared to the other macros, and it's going to help with protein synthesis because you're going to start also lifting. If you have 3 days a week, 1 to 2 hours per those days, how about this? Start with 2 days a week, 45 minutes each time. Continue walking 10,000 steps a day, and first and foremost, you hammer home that diet. Talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, that you trust. You can always sign up with my Patreon. And you're going to learn how to squat. You're going to learn maybe you don't do barbell squats, but you start with a bodyweight squat and you learn how to do it really well. Then you go to goblet squats, and then you're going to learn how to barbell squat. You're going to do that. You're going to learn how to deadlift. You're going to learn how to bench press and do these basic movements, and you're going to get good at them, and you're going to start to progress at them. And just 2 days a week, you're going to do that. Full body workout, 2 days a week, 45 minutes a day, while you're still maintaining just daily movement, and you hammer home your diet. And that, I don't care what type of shape you're in, if you commit to that and give it good effort and good focus, that's always better than anything else. You hear me? Daily movement, staying active, staying on your feet, keeping your circulation going. Really being really invested in diet. And I'm not saying you have to be counting every calorie, getting neurotic and eating food you don't like. No. I'm saying on a day in and day out basis, you don't just eat because you're like, oh fuck, I gotta be at work in 10 minutes. I haven't eaten. I'm gonna eat whatever's close to me. I'm gonna snack mindlessly on things around. No. Day in and day out, you're looking at your food as an investment in yourself. That's it. That's the big choice. Daily movement, and then 2 days a week, you're going to start, and you're going to get someone who really knows what they're talking about to show you how to do a handful of really basic movements, and you're going to get better at those and progress at those. In a nutshell, brother. Good luck. I'm 6'4", 210, and goddamn, it's hard to increase my 1 rep max for squats. Any advice for taller people? Okay, well, you're 6'4", 210, so you're a big, tall dude, and you're not fat. Are you sure you want to be increasing your 1 rep max in squats? Is that the best use of your time? Are you a power lifter? Maybe. Oh, fine. Of course, you don't have a choice. But if you're just looking to be in better shape, everyone has different moment arms. Everyone has different lengths of torso and different lengths of legs. Some people can. I've always been gifted by just my build of body. I'm not even talking about necessarily weight, but I was always a guy without injuring myself who could go ass to grass with my squats. I have friends of mine relatively near the same size as me who don't have my short little stubby fucking legs that had a really hard time. They were, even with half the weight, they were like fucking breaking their backs to get their lumbars to be in a proper position. So I go like, well then how about the hack squat for you? Leg press is hard and heavy, and the hack squat. Do I think compound movements, the most compound free weight movements are always a great choice? Yes. I would like to see people build their programs around it, but not at the expense of their fucking health and not at the expense of them being able to train. Some people, their arms are so long and they're so big, like bench press is stupid. You would get so much more out of like weighted dips and some dumbbell work and, So yeah, there's exercises that are awesome. They're really awesome exercises, and I would never try to say they're not. But everybody's body is so wildly different, and everybody's experience with stuff. Maybe your legs are so much stronger than you even know, but you can't tell because you're so consumed with getting squats right that your long torso is compromising your ability to even get that level of mechanical tension into your legs. So it's like, start fucking hack squatting, start split squatting, lunging, and doing leg press instead. You won't lose anything. In fact, you'll gain a lot. What are your thoughts on the carnivore diet? When Dr. Drew and you were talking about it a few years ago, is it healthy? Whoa. My thoughts on the carnivore diet overall, it's a great way to open up people's eyes into food choices. And, especially since I've been a little kid, you got brainwashed into thinking like the lower fat, the better, no matter what. And if you were to regulate your overall calories, believe me, having cod and chicken breast with your carrot sticks and celery sticks is not as healthy as having like a really good, well-regulated amount of, sirloin and steak and stuff like that mixed with your kind of properly chosen plant matter. I do think the carnivore diet opens up a lot of people's eyes and gets people going in a positive direction. By virtue of not eating anything else but meat, are you making a good choice with your diet? Probably not. I don't like any kind of demagogue ideas when it comes to diet because there's people around the world who have thrived for generations eating nearly only fat and some protein. There's people who around the globe who have learned to thrive on root vegetables almost exclusively. My point being is like one of the advantages of being a human being is that we are not like, I have a farm now and I could see like my donkeys cannot eat fucking raw meat, and my dogs are like champion competitive athletes, and they eat only exclusively raw meat and organ meat. That's it. All my indoor dog, my little happy indoor Harry, and my Great Pyrenees out there, 100 and something pound Great Pyrenees. They're like practically wolf. They eat raw meat. The donkeys would be so sick if they were forced to eat that. Humans we're not like that. You have to find, the way that your body adapts to food. Like even the same person, as you age, doesn't work out the same way, So I don't like any restrictive dieting. I think you have to find the actual food content is up to you personally, but you just have to have any food content that is best for you that hits certain foundational points like calorie levels and protein. All other else is really just details, and only details that high level people need to worry about. The amount of carbs you take in a day, if you're talking about just a baseline good, like get through the day amount of carbs, is perfect for 99% of the world. If you're a professional soccer player, it's got to be different. If you're an aspiring bodybuilder, it's got to be way different. If you're a marathon runner, it's going to be way different than that. So I don't think macros is something that people should get obsessive about. What they should get obsessive about is hitting a calorie set point that is best suited to your goals and making sure that their protein is above what they're probably used to. Thank you to everybody who has anything to do with my podcast or my Patreon. By the way, if you're interested, I have the top tier, which means I will work for you. I'm your personal trainer through and through, and I enjoy it and I believe in it. If you want to join at the low level, just to say thank you to me, all of you, anyone who's at my Patreon who donates money, essentially, like, I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you to you for downloading or listening to this podcast.
Where'd you get that hat, Mike? It's so dope. I know it is. Melon, M-E-L-I-N. You're out here on your farm in Texas in the humidity, and your head gets funky, but your hat won't. Melon's got you covered. 5 times more durable than any other hat on the market. Waterproof. You drop it while you're fishing, it floats right there on the water. You can wash it when it gets funky, and it'll come right back into shape, just like the day you got it. The most comfortable hat on the market, plus they got tons of different styles and fits. They even have a fit finder right there on the website. They got snapbacks. They come in classic, regular, extra large. Melon very, very rarely offers discounts, but right now you can get 30% off. So head to the website, melin.com/Mikey. Get yourself 30% off. Elevate your hat game and don't let it get in the way of your lifestyle. Melon hats, melon.com/Mikey.